clerk to use your mics, please? Thanks.
If there's no questions or concerns, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the September 29th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second to approve the minutes. If there's no further comments or concerns, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And those opposed? Thank you. We'll move on to bills and accounts. Any comments about bills and accounts, Julie?
The Amazon bill will be covered with grant money, and that's in your expenditure sheet. That's the second page in your packet, the one that looks like that. And it's also on the checking account report. That covers the purchase of the GoPro and the peripherals needed for that. And that was grant money from the South Dakota Community Foundation. And it also includes some programming supplies. We bought yoga mats and some additional items for some of the youth programming. And that was also from that same grant money. So that had been transferred in a few months ago to cover that.
We don't have that form in our packet, but I did review it online when you sent it.
Oh, you didn't get,
I think I think some of us do, but some of us don't.
oh, wow.
Sorry.
Which I can
Do
look
you want
on.
to look at this one?
Like I said, I'm good.
Yeah,
I reviewed
and I
it.
looked online as well. So
It might be on the back sheet of one of them, because I did things kind of.
I don't think we have it, but it's fine. I mean, I can look on.
Okay.
Lance, I have them if you want to look.
I've reviewed
There
it.
wasn't,
Thanks,
but
Good online?
I did.
that also had the current account statements and the Black Hills Community Foundation. We had their quarterly update. There's a bit of a loss from the last quarter, approximately $1,100, a little over. Probably just a market adjustment. Does anybody have any questions on that? I can pass around. I've got more of these expenditures.
No.
I think there might be some right there by Lance, too. Okay.
Do you like a sheet to review? Everyone's okay?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same items are on the register report for the checking account and then the savings account. I did transfer from savings to checking $729 from the donations from the Arts Council to pay for that new art suspension system that we purchased last month.
Are there other comments or questions regarding bills and accounts?
I'd move to approve.
Thank you, Lance.
Second.
Second, Dean. Thank you very much. Moved and approved to moved and second to approve the bills and accounts. If there's no further comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And those opposed? Right, we'll move on to reports. Julie or Chris?
I sent the report later today. If you didn't get it, there should be a copy, hopefully, in your packet. Double check. Just some of the basic numbers. We're seeing low response currently to getting our story hours live. So we're getting posters out. We're trying more advertisement and promotion, and hopefully we'll increase numbers. We're looking forward to tomorrow is Cardigan Day for the library. We have little gift boxes of treats and some fun Halloween stuff to hand out. And if you guys show up in your cardigans tomorrow, you can get your little box. And, we've had a few people enter the pumpkin painting contest already on Facebook. We're hoping for some more people to do those. And Donia starts on Monday, so she's already been in and met the rest of the staff, so that's fun, and we'll get her on board, and it'll be a busy week next week. Let's see. Do you have anything else under reports? Do you have any questions over any of the building updates in the reports? We got the 7 computers in, but and that's under the ARPA grant update too. I guess we can talk about that stuff then, so. And History at High Noon will be on the 19th this month. I can't remember the program though right now, but I'll let you know. We're working on our newsletter. We don't have that out, but I'll send it to the board as soon as it's published. That's about
Great.
it.
Anything else? If not, we'll move on to unfinished business. Library protocols.
I guess I didn't really have any updates. We had 15 people come for History at High Noon. I think people are still a little hesitant to come in. And since school started, we aren't seeing as many kids in the library, but people who want to wear masks are, and we're still providing masks. But we are letting groups schedule the meeting rooms. We're just limiting them to, not a big group in a small space currently. But that's basically it for protocols.
All right. The SVSL ARPA grant.
Yeah, we've been working hard trying to get our items ordered. The pricing increased quite a bit from the time we wrote the grant, and then even from the first time we received quotes from Tiger Direct for the equipment. So we're still working on trying to find some monitors that are available. They're back ordered, and maybe limited numbers. We might have to purchase in small batches, but we could try purchasing those from another vendor because we're not held to the vendor. We just have to order the items we said we'd order in the grant.
Just talk to the guy about that.
Yeah, if you want to give an update.
Yeah, so today we were trying to find out what the status of everything is. The desktops, the 7 computers that we ordered came in. The monitors were back ordered, and the laptop, the Windows laptop we ordered is way back ordered, and then the MacBook we were waiting on to order until the new ones came out. What they just did, and I'll talk about that in a second. So I managed to get a hold of a guy finally, and he said that the monitors supposedly are supposed to get in sometime this week. And he's going to email the vendor to find out if that's the case or not. And then you should be getting an email hopefully tomorrow about that. He said another way we could do it is to buy, he's going to put together a list of comparable monitors if it's going to take a while for those to come in, and then we could purchase those. But to give you an idea what's going on, this morning when I checked, I found a comparable monitor, and you were limited to 5. Then I looked again a little bit later, you were limited to 4.
Oh.
When I called this guy, you're limited to 2 because that's all they have in stock. So
wow.
just the supply chain shortage is kind of mucking with everything. So if the ones we ordered are going to get here within a week or so, no problem.
Right.
Otherwise, we'll patch it together. And then the laptop actually is back ordered until February. But I think that's going to be okay because we have till
July to
July.
file the paperwork for the grant.
Yeah. So if February comes and that doesn't show up, then we'll find another replacement for that. The MacBook, there are 2 options because they've come out with a new version, and I wanted to see if there was going to be a huge price difference and what features were going to be on there and if it would justify getting a new one versus an old one.
Right.
And it's $450 more for the new version. And the biggest improvements that they've done, and I can actually show you here, I think, if this will do what we want it to. Let's see if it shows up on your screen, maybe in here too. Yeah, okay, so if I move the microphone, basically what happened is Apple, the old one comes with these two USB-C connectors, and that's it. You had to use, if you are going to plug it in, that takes one of them, which only gives you one plug, which it can be problematic. You also, if you want to use a regular USB-A, you have to have dongles or adapters or whatever, which we'd have to buy anyway. The new one, which is this one, they've added another power cable to it. So it has its own dedicated power cable. So that opens up one. They also have put, actually this one doesn't show it, but they have a USB-A, and they also have an HDMI, and a card reader on it. So it's a lot more useful if patrons come in and have other technology that we don't have to worry about trying to find the right adapters. So in that respect, and I think, $450 more, we'd probably have to spend close to $100 on adapters anyway. So my recommendation would be to go with the new version instead of the old version, because it'll give us more options.
Right.
And make it easier to use in the community room. Having an HDMI out means you can plug it right into the wall like these do, and not have to look for your thing and get the firmware update issue and all that. So, so that was actually a good demonstration on how it can go south quickly. We tried to plug this in using the wireless thing, but it needs a firmware update.
Wow.
So somebody's going to have to do that before the next council meeting, I guess, if anybody wants to use the barcode thing. But anyway, so otherwise, everything's more expensive. Almost everything is more expensive. From putting Office, we had budgeted, I forget, but to put Office on the 7 computers came in $89 more than when we budgeted for it. The desktop computers were $1,600 more, or $1,100 more, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
The monitors were $18 more. The laptop, the Windows laptop is almost $550 more. So everything just skyrocketed. So right now we're looking at a difference of about $1,800. $1,800 if we get the old MacBook. It'd be $2,300 if we get the new one, is what the city will have to kick in to complete the grant.
As part of the grant paperwork, we had to submit it to Daniel, and they had to just submit a letter stating that any overage above the grant amount would be absorbed by the city, and they were happy to do that, and considering how much money this saves the library. So, and again, that money will have plenty of money in the budget to cover, especially if some might come out of next year's budget. And so,
So you've already discussed it with them? And they've said,
well, they knew that there's a good chance, because we were, even in the initial quote, we were over the $15,000 requested by just over $100 at that time. But everybody knows with the current situation that pricing was really fluid. There, I used the word again. That's my new favorite word. I don't like it, but I use it. And so it's just what it had to be, and I don't see any issue with. And I agree with Chris. I think the new MacBook is a much better choice, not only for ease of use for most of us, but because you want this to be viable for quite a few years. So let's go with the new one if possible.
I agree.
I suppose maybe we do want a motion on that, though, just because of the added expense.
Okay.
So, sorry, Val, I'll let you do the thing. Or can I just say so moved?
If you're ready, go ahead.
So moved. I'll second.
It's been moved and approved to request between, is that what we're moving on, 1,800 to 2,300? Or the actual 450
Why don't
more?
we just do the overage for the MacBook, for the new MacBook, to prove
So
purchasing the new
450?
Mac at a $450 increase?
Is that what you moved, Kristen?
That
That's
is
what I
what
thought. It's been moved and second to add $450 more for the purchase of a MacBook, so we can receive this grant and update the computer as part of the grant. Is there further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, Julie, you have Memorial Miscellaneous Bank accounts on here.
Yeah, I did do some checking this week. Basically, there's no interest available. Pioneer Bank does not give business accounts any kind of a interest rate for a checking account, and their savings rates vary between 0.02 to 0.03 for the savings accounts there. First Interstate Bank, the enhanced business checking is at 0.01. This municipality accounts, which I believe are money market account, it stays at that 0.01. And all savings is basically 0.01. And so at this point, I guess my recommendation is just to leave things as they are. But while I was checking, I also inquired about CD rates just to have an idea of where the market is right now, because as we all know that it's not looking very positive. And when the CD does get up for renewal, which is in July, you guys will have a big decision to make over, what you want to do to, you maybe just go short term or whatever. Pioneer Bank, a 1-year CD of 250 or higher, 250,000 or higher would be 0.16. A 2-year would be 0.17, and a 3-year would be 0.23. You know that First Interstate Bank will usually sit down and maybe give us some special rates, and so it's usually negotiable. But their highest right now is 0.35 for a 60-month.
5-year.
Yeah, and so what Janine recommended too is to go short term and then just see what happens and then as you go. So I just thought maybe you'd be needed to be aware of that, and that Chris needs to be aware of that because that'll come up in July. So.
Okay, thank you. Any building project update for us?
I think basically that's been covered. Chris had an update, though, on Past Perfect, and I guess I could have done that when he was speaking earlier, because we did go ahead and contact the company, and they...
They basically want us to attend kind of a training session. Just, I think it's more to make sure that we understand what it is we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do this to keep people from buying it who don't understand what it does. So when I contacted them, they said, yeah, we'd be great to sell it to you after you do this little seminar that we put on once a month or whatever. And so I thought, oh, okay, no worries. So we're doing that at the beginning of November. And then once that's done, then we'll go ahead and order it. And
Virtual, I presume.
yes. Yeah, can't remember where the company's based out of.
I almost
Somewhere in the
wanted to say
Midwest.
California or somewhere, I thought. I can't remember. I looked once, but I can't remember. It doesn't.
But anyway, yeah, virtually. Yeah. And so Katie and I will do that since she'll be the one mainly using it.
Mm-hmm.
And she already knows how to use it and knows what it does anyway because she's had experience on it. So it should be great.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, and then we'll get that going. So that should be ready to go by the end of the year, I'm sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, November's right around the corner. Ooh.
Boy, it sure is. Yeah. So, yeah, that's Past Perfect.
Thank you. It's exciting. Is there other unfinished business to come before the board? Not, we'll move on to new business. Policies to review. News media. So you've made some changes, Julie.
Yeah, and then Lance reviewed them and took a little more time, and I sent it back with the corrections, so I printed those out for your packets. So there's just a few small, mostly it's just some grammar and other corrections, and a little basic language that just doesn't change the meaning or the direction of the policies. So the policy for news media in the library, it's just capitalizing library and then changing to the director or assistant director should also be informed of any request to interview staff or patrons.
Okay.
And then library patrons, it just says library patrons having their photograph taken or being videotaped in the library have no reasonable expectation of privacy while in the library. It's just a better way of saying it. And our policy for policy adoption is we send them out and we discuss them, but we are able to go ahead and discuss them and approve first reading now, unless you want to review the changes and think about them till the next meeting. It's up to you guys.
It all looks like grammar. I know. I mean,
Do you want to do each one individually? First do the news media one, and then we'll go to the next one.
I think we should, since there's changes on that.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions or changes that they think? This kind of goes along with the city's policies, but we also have been, good about notifying Christina whenever anybody contacts us, and she will kind of say, yeah, you're fine to go ahead and talk, or she will say, maybe that's something somebody else should deal with. So that is our general way of dealing it when somebody does call ahead or just show up.
Does that need to be listed anywhere, Julie, do you think? Or is that just, since they're going through the library or assistant director, library director or assistant, that's for you to...
Because they know then that it's up to them to call Christine.
Okay.
I don't believe that has to be in the policy.
If everyone's had the opportunity to review the policy for news media in the library and there's no further changes, I'd entertain a motion for approval of first reading.
I'll approve the first reading with the addition of the grammar changes and capitalization, but no base change in the policy.
Thank you, Dean. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Kristen, thank you. Moved and second to approve first reading of policy for news media in the library with the listed changes. If there's no further comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you. Okay, the microfilm lending policy.
Again, this is just very, very basic policy. It's just we do not loan out the rolls of microfilm, and libraries generally do not. So this is in line with libraries around the state. Again, we just changed some semantics.
If everyone's had the opportunity to review the microfilm lending policy with the listed changes, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved.
Kristen?
Oops. Second.
Second by
Dean?
Dean. All those in favor of approving the microfilm lending policy signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. And then we get to proctor and exam policy.
This one's a longer policy with actually not a lot of content changes. Again, capitalizing the library throughout. The part in yellow, it would be that library staff proctoring the exam will complete appropriate documentation forms provided by the institution. And we currently mostly fax or email. We rarely ever are asked to mail proctored exams in any longer. So that's why we wanted to change that. And then we would charge if they, and usually we have them bring in their own envelope, but if they need one of ours, we will just charge $1 usually for the 8.5 by 11 shipping envelopes.
Are there any questions regarding the exam proctoring policy?
I would move to approve.
Thank you, Lance. Is there a second?
Second.
Dean, thank you. Been moved and second to approve the first reading of the exam proctoring policy with the listed changes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We'll have a bunch more for the next meeting. We're going to cruise through and get everything updated as quickly as possible.
All right, is there other new business to come before the board?
We have started working on an updated technology plan, so that's another item that maybe we might have for next meeting or soon after. Also, the next meeting, we're tentatively thinking about December 8th, because otherwise it falls right before Thanksgiving. And I'm just wondering how that works with all of your schedules. Okay, I'll go ahead and then just publish that and reserve this meeting room for that date. And it's also considered our annual meeting, according to our bylaws, and election of officers will take place because it's been 2 years again. Hard to believe. So just want you to all show up or else you'll get elected. And then also for the November holidays, we are closed on the 11th, the day of Veterans Day, and then the 25th and 26th for Thanksgiving, and then the Friday after is also a city holiday. So we do close for those 2 days, but we are open the Saturday after. So I think that's everything I have. Anybody else?
Any other new business to come before the board? If not, Kelly, I'd entertain a motion to.
First, I'd like to apologize for being a few minutes late. I would like to close the meeting.
Thank you.
Motion.
Thank you.
We know we don't need it, but.
No. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Keep us posted.